The curious streetlight. On a winding cobblestone street, the sky melted from lavender to soft gold. Every evening, Blinko, the curious streetlight, blinked gently as shadows danced around him. Blinko was inquisitive but shy. He loved watching the world from his tall perch, noticing tiny details others missed, a leaf fluttering in the breeze, the tap-tap of a mouse's paws, the soft jingling of distant bells. Yet he wished he had someone to share his discoveries with. "Maybe tonight," he whispered to himself, "someone will notice me." Down below, a stray cat named Whirly slinked between the stones, her tail curling in quiet rhythm. She twitched her ears at the rhythmic clicking of Blinko's gentle Morse signals. Blink, blink, tap, tap. Blinko had an idea. Every night he tapped tiny Morse messages onto a glowing street bench nearby. The bench, magical and warm, could turn clicks into pictures. Perhaps, just perhaps, someone might understand. One evening, Blinko tapped carefully. "Hello, friend. Want to see a secret?" Whirly's whiskers twitched. She jumped onto the bench. A flicker of glowing images danced above her paws. A moon smiling, a star winking, a tiny cat waving, even a tiny fish swimming in circles. Blinko blinked with delight. He had made his first secret connection. But not everyone was pleased. At the far end of the street, a grumpy night guard frowned, hands on his hips. He disliked noise, and the rhythmic clicking of Morse made him frown deeper. "Who's tapping there?" he grumbled. Blinko froze, dimming to almost invisible. Whirly rubbed against the guard's boots, purring loudly enough to soften the grump. She swished her tail and batted at a falling leaf, making the guard chuckle despite himself. But the tapping continued, quiet, patient, and full of hope. Tap, tap, blink, tap. Whirly decided to help. She darted between the guard's legs, nudging him toward the glowing bench. As the images flickered, he blinked. First surprise, then curiosity. Blinko tapped faster now, showing pictures of glowing lanterns, dancing leaves, a tiny mouse holding a lantern, and even a small frog tipping a hat. The guard chuckled, a sound rare as moonlight in his world. He leaned closer, kneeling, as if the tiny Morse images had a secret he'd always wanted to know. The night guard, once grumpy and stern, now smiled warmly, drawn in by Blinko's gentle storytelling. Night after night, Blinko tapped, Whirly played, the guard watched, and slowly a new routine blossomed. The street, once quiet and lonely, hummed with gentle Morse, tiny glowing pictures, and soft purrs. Blinko, shy as ever, realized that even the quietest voices could be heard if someone cared to notice. Whirly twirled between shadows, making the guard laugh at her little antics. Even the guard started leaving tiny messages on the bench, doodles of lanterns, stars, little paw prints, and even tiny hearts. Sometimes, the best friends are the ones you make in the shadows, in secret languages, under soft twinkling lights. The winding street was no longer lonely. Lanterns glimmered, whirly twirled, the guards smiled, and Blinko's light shone a little brighter. He blinked happily to himself, thinking, "I'm not so small after all." One last night, Blinko tapped a final message on the bench. "Thank you, friends." Images danced above, a cat waving, a streetlight smiling, a guard tipping his hat, a leaf fluttering, a tiny star winking, and a twirling moon. The street glittered, muted purples and golds mingling in a magical glow. And in that moment, Blinko understood. Curiosity, patience, and a little courage could light up even the quietest heart. The street slept peacefully, but Blinko's tiny Morse clicks promised adventures tomorrow.